Good day, viewers. Welcome to another interesting and exciting episode of Let's Talk Pitch, okay? Today's topic is the effect of domestic violence in our homes. And to help us with that very topic, I have with me
Miss Theodora Otu. I'm a wife, a boss. I'm a mentor. I'm a life coach. Should you want life coach on wealth, health, teach you how to do your business and the rest.
Okay, so Mrs. Dora, what is domestic violence?
And now talking about domestic violence.
And sorry, before you go on, this is a very controversial topic.
Yeah.
And we are going to have a lot of discussions today. I hope you are ready for us.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Yeah. So when we talk about this domestic violence, it goes a very long way. It goes from physical to emotional to financial. You know, we're actually used to domestic violence when it's just a punch, when it's just a scar. But it goes beyond that. And talking about domestic violence in the home, it doesn't only affect, there's a victim in this domestic violence. And when we talk about the victim, either the wife or the husband and the children are victims. And domestic violence, it takes the grace of God for one to survive it. Now, I don't advocate for women that are going through domestic violence to be quiet. I don't advocate for that. You can't go through domestic violence and remain the same. You can't go through it and remain the same person you are over and over again, because it takes away from you. Domestic violence, it sucks your blood if you don't know that. Because I myself have been a victim of it, of domestic violence. Abuse is a domestic violence. Physical is a domestic violence. We'll talk about financial. Is it why a man cannot give his wife money to cook? The wife is working and he feels because the wife is working, he's okay with it. He's okay with it, so he doesn't drop money for the wife to cook in the house. Is a violence to me because I am the one carrying the burden of the house. I am not being appreciated for it. You know, when a woman is being appreciated for what she's doing, she does what? She does more without looking back. So when you don't do all this, is an abuse. You're violating my peace. Anything that does not give you peace is an abuse and a violence to you. And I tell people, if you don't have peace, you do what? You run away. That is the advice. Because anything that steals your peace is stealing your life per second's billing. Because when you are happy, happiness, it makes a woman glow. Peace makes a woman glow. So I'm saying that domestic violence, it affects the children. Because, okay, let's take for instance, I want to tell you my own story. I went through it. I went through it and came out whole. Thank God for that I came out whole. There was no mother, there was no father to advise me on what to do. Even if you run to your parents, they will tell you that I can make decisions for you. He that wear the shoes know where it pitches.
Yeah.
So your parents will not tell you leave. Because tomorrow, when anything happens, you say they were the one that asked you to leave. You will not push the blame to them. So I couldn't talk to my parents. They couldn't advise me. My dad just called me that, my daughter, I can't tell you to leave and I can't tell you to stay. You know where it pitches you, so make the decisions yourself. You're making the decisions yourself. So I made that decision, and that decision was never the bad decisions I made in my life, because I was valuated. In the sense that I was doing 2 jobs in Lagos. Have you heard it? Have you heard any woman does 5 to 9 or 5 to 8 job in Lagos? 2. I was running 2 in Lagos. I was working with, I can't disclose, so I don't get myself involved. Do you understand? But I was doing 2 jobs just to put food on the table. Just to cover up for you that you have nothing to do as a man. Life was running upside down for me and you.
Well, was he working at the moment?
At the moment, he was not working.
Okay. So you were feeling the
gap. I was filling the gap. But filling the gap does not mean that even if I was a woman, I need to be appreciated. I don't tell you that buy all this for me. I was so contented. I was so contented because I knew you were not having. But you don't play a psych on me. You don't play a psych on me. That is why I had to know that there are narcissists of men and there are narcissists of women. I met a narcissist. I met a narcissist that anything I say, he uses it against me.
You carry Supreme Court, go your house with that.
Anything
you
Judge, Judge, it will use against me. So I have to be conscious of what I am saying. I have to be conscious of what I am doing. I have to be conscious of where I am going. It was stick to my neck. I was carrying a claw on my neck. So when you talk about domestic violence, I saw domestic violence in finance. I saw it physically. I got it verbally. I got it sexually. I got it sexually. But in all this, I didn't know where the courage came from. I didn't know where the strength came from. But I had strength to carry on. I carried on for 3 years. I had strength to carry on. Abuse that I'm this kind of woman. I like where peace is. Where there's peace, there's life. And for you to know, people that are looking for children and you are fighting, you're killing yourself, children will not come. Because there's no peace in the house. Children want where there's peace. It happened to me. For 3 years, I never missed my period. I was living with a man in the house. Married to him. I never missed my period for 3 years. That was when I knew that where there is no peace, children don't come. They don't come. And finance will not come. Your finance will not grow as a man. Okay. So as a man, when you do all that, the glory of your head is going down. There's a glory a man carries. So when a man starts beating his wife, when a man starts maltreating his wife with the little things you can do for a woman, you feel that you are just doing too much. Your glory as a man is going down. So sexual abuse, yes. Sexual abuse, I was there. I couldn't complain. I couldn't say anything. I was just making love. Love was not with me, but love was just there. Just having erection, and you do your thing and you leave. You don't care about the other side.
But sorry, most people don't see it as sexual abuse because you are married to him. You guys are both in the relationship together, and then he's your husband.
Yes.
So he's entitled.
Yes, you're entitled.
Yes.
Yes.
Just the same way you're also entitled to go meet him to say, my husband, I want to do.
Yes.
Sorry for the use of the English. But how do you really explain sexual abuse to people that, because some people say, you're a married woman now, you're married to your husband. So how is he abusing you sexually? And because your husband came to ask you for sex, is that an abuse?
No. Sexual abuse is not all about rape. You know, people think sexual abuse is only rape. But when there's not a common ground between two people, one person's emotions is being deflated. And the other person's emotions is being increased.
Yes.
Do you understand? So
there's no balance.
There's no balance.
Okay.
So when you talk about sexual abuse, is both of us are satisfied with what we are doing.
Okay.
Do you get it? Not because you are satisfied. You have to know your woman. You have to explore your woman. It's not all about me. It's not all about you. It's all about pleasures and satisfaction
for both
parties. So you don't tell me that you at climax, you've gotten to your climax. What about the other person?
He's still there, ground.
He's still there. And how does the person feel? How is the emotional feelings? Do you get it? You don't care. There's no arousal. All because you want it. You just clicking. And me as a woman, because I'm married to you, I won't say because I'm married to you, I will not say no. I can't do that. I can't deny you because the whole family will hear it. You get? So sexual abuse, people don't talk about it. But have you thought about a reason why husband and wife, after marriage for 30-something years, they tell you they want to break up? Have you thought about it? All this muzzled up. Because they are not being treated. Because they are not being trashed. Because if they are being trashed from the onset, you won't see it get to that length. Whereby, you know, we women, we don't talk too much. We muzzled up. Do you get it?
Thick skin.
We muzzle up but it's deflecting you per seconds. You're going. So that's sexual abuse. I don't need to be raped before sexual abuse. We are partners. Satisfy my urge, I satisfy your urge. Everybody's at the peak. Nobody is left behind. You know, you don't want to explore me, but you just want to come in, do your thing, and you get out. And when you keep doing it, it becomes regular. It becomes a thing that is often, but I am there, I'm demoralized. I'm demoralized by this thing. And you know what? And I can't, as a woman, you're not permitted to go out. Do you get it? So it now becomes an issue. It becomes an issue. Tomorrow I'm like, just come and do now. Say that's what you want to do. I went through it. I didn't know what orgasm was as a woman. You get what? I didn't know what it is for a woman to get to orgasm. I never even knew what they were talking about. So I had to know that my emotions, my sexual life was fixed. It was buckled up to a particular place. So I had that. I had the physical violence, the physical one, that somebody would just come out. Okay, a scenario happened one day. I have to be raw. Let me just be raw.
Yes, just say
I need to be raw. The way it happened to me, because I experienced it.
Firsthand.
No other person, but I experienced it myself. Okay, I was at home that fateful day, and he went out. He asked me, he was going to a friend's place where the son was having a birthday. Okay. I said that I have work tomorrow. It's a Sunday. I will not want to stress myself because I have to go to work the next morning. So he left. So I was just at home. I was triggered at home. I started singing in the house. I didn't know something was coming. So I started singing. So while I was singing, the friend who was going to the house called me and said, that's my husband though. I said, my husband said he's coming to your house. He's on his way to your house. Moreover, you didn't tell me, Sha, that Davido's birthday is today. But I can't come because of work tomorrow. But my husband is coming. After hours, they called me again and said they didn't see him. So me, I didn't bother. Because what I know is that you don't ask a man where he's coming from and where he's going to. Just be safe. So I didn't ask. So he came back.
Well, go on.
Okay. So he came back. When he came back, I was like, welcome, sir. What will you eat? I prepared Indomie. He told me I was going to make Indomie before I come. So I prepared this Indomie. I timed, look at the timing. I don't eat cold food. So I don't give anybody cold food. So I looked at the timing and prepared this food as well. So after preparing this food, he brought asu for me. So the asu was so much that I can't finish all of it. So I had to put some in his food to eat while I was eating some. I didn't do anything wrong. The next thing I heard, village woman. And I said, jokingly, village woman that marries village man, everybody go turn village now. I'm so sorry for that. But, the next thing, he got angry that you are stupid, you are foolish, you are useless. What did I do? I didn't say anything. And I said, okay, that's this one. Who offended you outside? Did anybody offended you outside? He said, you are village. I married. I said, no, wala. I smiled up. The talk became too much that the asu, I couldn't eat it. I had to cover it and go and keep it in the kitchen because the talk was too much. The next thing he said, you useless woman, what are you saying? I now said, please, did this one you came back, I didn't even ask you where you went to. Let it be that that's what caused the fight. Where you went, I didn't even ask you. So what have I done? Did anybody tell you anything concerning me that I've not told you outside? Maybe you heard something that you've not heard from me that is bringing this. This I was telling you, television in the house. No, first of all, it's a pole line. He carried a pole line, cotton pole line I have behind the door. I was wiping me with it. I heard the pole line. The next thing I said, Obim, that's my love. Even with the beating, I was still saying my love. Obim, what happened? I don't think that people beat women in your family. I thought everything has finished. The asu I kept in the kitchen, in the plate, he carried the whole plate and smashed it on the ground. The next thing he was going was television. Yes, to carry the television and smash. And I said, Bim, for the second time. Jeez.
Was the television working? The
television was working. It was working. So if he had time to have had a knife that night, he would have stabbed me. He would have stabbed me that night. So I couldn't sleep. I just went, the whole thing was something else. I just went one side of the bed and I slept off to the next morning. My mind was like, but this person is not drunk. What else?
Exactly. I was going to ask that.
He wasn't drunk. If he's drunk, I will know.
Yeah, you didn't perceive.
I didn't
alcohol
perceive
or
anything. So I kept quiet. The next morning I woke up. I was like, what happened last night that you almost killed me in this house? But let me tell you, if this thing has to repeat itself again, I will walk out of you 1,000 times. So he now said, sorry. And I said, you just said sorry casually. If you had killed me last night, this is what you would have said. He said, and I will beat you again. That was when I now knew that his eyes were clear. He didn't do it in influence of anything. But do you know, at the end of the day, I was the bad person. Because when I told the sister said, my brother doesn't beat a woman.
Oh.
Yes. I became the bad person. Maybe I wanted to say bad. But in all, my parents never heard. The only person that heard was my mom. And I begged her, don't tell my dad. And she did not. I thought it was going to end there. After that, we had series. I don't stay at home. I go to work and come back. So when I come back, I believe that there should be peace in the house at home for me to sleep. But I will still come out. Someone is brooding. You're brooding all the day. You're brooding. The house is so heavy. And you want things to come for you. Nothing good comes in an environment when there's brooding. It doesn't come. So I was managing it. Yes. You are the one that beats me. I cooked your favorite for you to beg you. Just because I wanted the marriage to stay, I had to cook your own favorite and begged you.
With your own money?
With my own money. With a bottle of wine and place it for your dogu to beg you just for the marriage to keep going. We had peace, yes. Peace came because I needed peace, right? You know, peace, it takes one person to need peace. The other person might not need it, but because it's coming from you, I the one initiating it, I have to embrace it. He embraced peace. We kept on going. I thought it was over. But still, the mother was a turn on me. The mother was a turn on me that everything that happens in my house, the mother is aware. I can't take any step without she being aware. That's another aspect of it, of the abuse I faced. So after that day, we separated. We got a casual separation. The casual separation we had was he left.
He moved out of the house?
He left and went to stay with the mother. For close to 6-8 months, he was with the mother.
Okay, so at that time he left the house?
Yes.
You're staying in a rented apartment, right?
It's a rented apartment.
Did the rent...
The rent... Jesus, have mercy upon me. The rent has expired.
And you renewed?
I didn't renew.
So who renewed?
So what happened? The rent has expired. So he left. Do you understand? So the sister sent him an amount of money. About 500,000. He didn't pay rent with that 500. I was a banker. I had his account. I opened the account for him.
Okay,
so I breached policy. I knew what was in his account. Mm-hmm. So every day I was seeing withdrawals made. Do you know the funny thing? I didn't confront him. He never knew I knew all his steps. I didn't confront him with it. He was withdrawing money, he was eating, he was flexing and all of that. He didn't pay the rent till he exhausted the whole money. He didn't invest in any business. So I now called the elder sister. I said, I find out that you gave your brother 500,000 naira, but I want to explain something to you. So tomorrow you people will not say I was the one that ate the money. He didn't give me a dime from this 500,000 naira. He did not open a shop and he did not pay the house rent of this house. That was it.
So who paid the rent? Who renewed the rent?
The rent was there. It took a very long time. Me, I was not ready to renew the rent. I said I would not.
So your landlord didn't come knocking?
The landlord is... May his soul rest in peace.
Oh.
He just passed on Friday.
Oh.
He's this kind of lenient person that understands life situation because he knew me.
Okay.
You get? So at the end of the day, he paid the rent. But it took over 8 months before he paid the rent, approaching a new rent.
Oh.
Approaching a new rent. So it went on like that. I had to just play the cards. They said, is a woman. Then they said it's a woman that keeps a home. But it's a lie. It takes the both party to keep the marriage. It's not one-sided. Marriage is not one-sided. It's not for the woman to keep the home. It's for the both people. Communication to keep the marriage. So we went on.
Welcome back, guys.
Thank you.
Miss Dora.
Yeah.
Kudos to you. You're a strong woman. And I know we have many of people like you out there
Yes.
that are willing to share their stories.
Yeah.
And have gone through things like this, probably even worse
Yes.
than what you have been through.
Yeah.
And most of the times that you see them, they tell you, oh, well, I need because my
Financial.
children. What will
Children.
people say? What will my daddy say? What will my mommy say? What will the world say? My dear, I think it's high time we learned that we don't need to listen to what people would say in order for us to do what we really feel that it is the best decision for us to take as human beings.
Yes.
Because no matter what, people will be people, we will be we. You will be you, he will be he, she will be she.
Of course.
If there's any English like that, because at this moment I don't know how to put it, but I don't want to let my emotions, take over me so that I will allow you to do the talking.
Yeah.
Do you get?
Yeah.
So at what point
did
you decide that I'm done?
Okay. I was actually managing this marriage, as we will say, because the doctrine has already made us know that when you're married, you stick to your marriage. It's for better, for worse. That is what they have made us to understood. But as time goes on, yes.
For better, for worse, it's not when it comes to
beating.
For better, for worse has nothing to do with sexual abuse. For better, for worse has nothing to do with physical abuse.
Yes.
Verbal abuse.
Yes.
Domestic abuse, whatever category it is.
No.
That is not what, but people tend to miss out what that sentence, what it actually means. It is not that when you are being violated, you stay because you have signed one paper or some dotted lines that says for better, for worse. That is not the meaning of better, for worse. So
at all. That's not the meaning.
I will allow you to
now, they made us to understand that it's for better, for worse. But I choose my own better and I choose my own worse at a particular time. And you are not taking care of me as a man. You're not meeting up my needs. I am so lost. At a point in time, I was a shadow of myself. I was a shadow. I'm not this person you're sitting down here. So you're not taking care of my emotions, physical, financial, and you're asking me that you need a divorce. If it were you, what will you do?
Before you will say, I'll go to business center and go and type it for you.
So you are violating me and you're threatening me with divorce. It's not done. I was threatened with divorce. I was violated and I was threatened with divorce because you want to rubbish me.
Sorry, is it bipolar?
It's not.
He's just a narcissist.
He's just a narcissist.
Or he's just a confused man.
He's just a narcissist.
I don't mean to be rude, so I'm so sorry.
No.
But I'm just wondering how dare him.
He's just a narcissist.
Abuse you to this extent.
He's just a narcissist.
Feels like he's doing you a favor.
Oh. And when they're doing all of this, they're telling you that I'm the best person you can get. You can't get any man outside. I'm the best man for you.
I'm seeing the ring on you. Is this his ring?
This cannot be his ring. I'm over with that about 2022. Oh. Yes, it's over 2022, and I got my own God-made man with a bouncing baby boy. My baby is going to be a year. It's going to be a year on Sunday.
Okay, wait.
Yes.
You eventually granted him the divorce.
I gave him a space of 6 months.
Okay.
They were expecting me to come beg, so they could rubbish me on the ground.
Okay.
Because I heard the mother asking that a girl they told that they need to divorce her. She should be begging now. What kind of person is this now? As per say, now only. Sorry, now only when they insured.
Okay, so you gave him 6 months.
I gave him 6 months.
So you gave him 6 months.
Yes.
After 6 months, you granted the divorce.
I granted.
Then you moved on with your life.
I moved on with my life.
And then you found.
And I met my Mr. Right. Just. In fact, when God is working for you and working with you.
I want to feel your testimony.
Yes.
You met, and now you have a baby boy.
Yes.
After how many months or years?
Hello.
Yes, ma.
Hello.
Yes, ma.
I met my husband. I met him December.
Okay.
We were doing boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah.
Just friendship, best of friends.
Yeah.
Someone I could talk to because I was going mentally down.
Okay.
I was going depressed.
Okay.
I needed someone to talk to. Yeah. So I met him. He had that listening ears he was giving to me.
Okay.
He had to assure me that it's not the end of my life. That I had a failed marriage does not mean it's the end. Okay. So we're just friends. On the process of being friends, emotions came up. I took in. this thing I'm telling you, I was so shocked that I could take in after a space of 3 years. I was in a marriage for 3 years. I had no miscarriage.
Every month, do they buy
Yes. I had no miscarriage for 3 years.
So and when you just stepped out.
I just stepped out.
And under many months.
And this happened.
God just give you a baby boy.
I'm telling you.
My brother, my sister.
So you don't think that you are just finished because someone has left you and you are just downcasted. You kept yourself.
Towel.
You kept your back on the ground.
Don't throw in the towel. Don't be too. Don't be too in a hurry to kick the bucket. Let me use it takes then in just one. Don't kick the bucket too early. For whatever reason in life, don't
look down on yourself.
That you want to.
I'm talking to that woman out there. You don't look down on yourself. Be courageous.
Yes.
Put the smile on your face. I know what I went through. I had to learn swimming just to keep myself happy. To be happy and mentally stable. I learned swimming. I had to do 1 or 2 talk shows just to be happy. Meet up with people, encourage. I was going through distress, but that time I saw people that were going through the same thing I was going. But I had the courage to bring them out. Even while I was in a mess of my own shit, I was still bringing people out.
And then also a savior.
I was still a savior to others. So I don't think that whatsoever circumstances one is going through, I do tell people, is to make you grow, is to make you to be strong, and to make you to be courageous.
Okay, Ms. Zora, before we wrap up the show, I want to ask you this last question.
Okay.
Did you see, like people say, red flags or signs? Did you see the signs? Did you see any red flags?
Well,
did you, like maybe you probably out of love, you just overlooked it.
I didn't see any red flag.
It's not possible.
Hold on. I didn't see any red flag. I didn't see any sign. The only red flag I saw was this guy was calm. He doesn't talk. So I felt maybe he was going through a kind of depression. You get?
As when you met him?
As when I met him.
Okay.
I felt he was going through a kind of depression. So he wasn't talking. He's just this kind of calm person. Quiet. So I now said, but I find out that you don't talk to me. But when you go out, you talk to people outside.
Did you feel loved at any point?
At any point, it was a kind of over-off. Because of what you needed, you have to show a show of love.
Wait,
do you understand?
You had to show him, or he had to show you?
He had to show a show of love.
But did you sense that you guys were not compatible?
I didn't sense it. I didn't sense it because I felt he was a matured person.
Or you were... sorry if I may say.
Okay.
Were you desperate?
I wasn't desperate.
So how did you find yourself in the hands of a man that you obviously knew that there was no connection, you guys were not compatible, and there was no love?
No, I didn't see that we were not compatible at that particular time.
But he was quiet. He barely talks to you.
He was
But when
talking.
he goes out, he talks.
He was talking.
That's alone.
I didn't know that was a flag for me.
Okay.
Do you understand? I didn't know it was a flag. But that was the only thing I saw. So even when I was talking to the family people that he doesn't talk, they said, no, he talks. He's a playful person. You understand? Of which I saw it along the line. But when it comes to me, he's so restricted. You get? He's so restricted.
It's very
gentle. He's very gentle.
Very demure.
You understand? So I didn't see it as a red flag. What I would have saw as a red flag was him smoking weed.
Oh, he smokes.
Hold on. I didn't know he was smoking. Yes. Even as smart as I can be. I didn't know he smokes weed.
So at what point did you get to find out?
Good. So there was a day I saw one in his trouser. Yes. I saw it in his trouser. I now asked him that, what is this thing doing with you? Who won't say it? You know, it was a weed. I've not saw, even where I stay, if someone is smoking weed, you perceive it, right? You perceive the smell, right? I've never perceived the smell. We have been together. I've never perceived the smell for one day.
Wow.
So when I saw that stuff, and I said, what's this? I saw it in your pocket. He said, give me. Now, didn't I see that boy that was begging him for money yesterday? I said, the boy was begging you for money. You should have as well give him the money, and you don't need this. You give it and dash him. So why the trade by barter if you're not taking it? Yeah. But I never saw him take weed for one day. It was when we had a separation, He left the house. I was cleaning up the house that I saw a whole lump sum of it in my house. So me, I didn't know. Yes, I didn't know. So one day he asked me and say, if police come to this house and say they want to search my house, what will I do? I said, you can't search my house without a warrant. I have to get a warrant before you search my house. So why will police come? And I said, okay, what about if somebody asks me, come and tell me that, do I know him? Who is he? I said, I know you. I know you by name. I know who you are. If they tell me that you drink, yes, I know you drink. If they tell me that you beat woman, I don't know that one. If they tell me that you smoke, I don't know. Do you understand? He now said,
but when they say they tell you that you beat woman, you don't know
I
that
don't
one, but
know.
you're not saying they beat.
No, as at then, that question popped up. So he was playing on my intelligence. I didn't know before time. He was playing on my intelligence before time. I didn't know. You get? I now said, wow, that I will say I know you now, that you are so person. He now said that is what they asked Jesus. That is what Jesus Christ asked his disciples. That who do men say that I am? Me, I didn't know there was a lot of things under the pipeline. Until I saw that, and the day I saw that stuff in my house, I felt like the roof should drop. Because if police should have really come to my house to search my house, I would have gone. I would have been gone. No excuses. You get? So though that was supposed to be the red flag for me. But because of the way he covered up, and I have not perceived it with him, even right until the day I saw it in the house, I have not perceived it with him. I didn't know that he was putting it inside drink to take.
Oh.
Yes. Yes.
Not just smoking, but
not smoking, but putting it in drink.
Wow, Miss Dora. And I would have said, let's continue. I kind of feel your pain, but you know, the joy is that you've passed that now.
Yes.
You're doing so well for yourself now. And I am also so excited because you are now with the man that actually treats you
like a woman.
You had it from how?
Like a woman.
Like a woman.
I tell you. And I was skeptical of marriage. I was like, I don't want anymore. Let me just have my life, myself. The emotional traumas has become too much. So that one will not just go into depression because of it. But when he came and said this is what he wanted, and I was like, really? I said, see, it shouldn't be because I was pregnant though. You see me, this pregnancy should not be the way forward.
Shouldn't force
we are
us
adults. Hello,
married.
we are adults.
Yeah.
We can as well take responsibility of this child without getting intertwined. That was the agreement I told him. I said, yes, I am not pushing you. Me, I've got my shares. I've got my own shares in marriage. Nobody can freak me with marriage again. So please. He now said, no. That is what he wanted. And that is just it. It has been going well. It's just you know your boundaries when it comes to marriage. Know your boundaries. I had a scenario. Of a friend that just ran on to me and said the husband was beating her. We women, we get our own too. You know, we have our own. Before man talk one, you have said 1,000. It will push to violence. You should be able to have this comportment. I tell women, know your temperament and know the temperament of your husband. Know your own temperament and know the temperament of your husband. It will help the both of you. So I am admonishing women out there. You have this kind of scenario. You actually don't need to be quiet, because when you're quiet, it's just few persons that survive it. Both men and both women. We are just few that can survive this kind of abuse and violence in the home. I am advocating for you. Please speak up. Please talk. Don't be quiet. Don't be quiet. You have a life to live after now. That one that is saying that I have 3 children, I cannot leave the man, and is beating you, is killing you. Please, women, look for something to do for yourself. Be independent. Get a skill. Get a handwork. Get a job that can help you to live out all this violence in the home. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Zara.
Thank you.
And it's a wrap on today's episode of Let's Talk with Joke. Till I come your way next time, take care of yourselves and take care of others. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. It's bye for now.
Bye.